2 tower chimps and 2 Megapops are 2 of the hardest achievements to get in Bloons Tower Defense 6. But what about if you try and get them both on the same run? That's what we're going to be doing today with the Flying Fortress and Strongest Stimulant. Also, happy 4th of July, everybody. There isn't enough money in chimps to get both the Perma-Brew and the Flying Fortress. So we're just going to have to roll with a Flying Fortress. If you pick either one of the two, it's going to have to be Flying Fortress to get to that tier 5. So let's crack on with this. I am anticipating a lot of round restarts in this. Put the Alchemist down and set it on strong so that it's always targeting those faster balloons in these early games. In comparison, let's say red balloons at the very front where there's going to be green balloons that are going to be overtaking it. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to say that the alchemy sticks onto the stronger balloons, because the alchemy potions do damage over time, which is a great benefit, really. Now, we're going to have issues here if we don't do something with the Alchemist, so we're going to have to restart this round and possibly get some larger potions. I'm hoping that this will be the only upgrade that we'll do ever until we get the Monkey Ace onto the field. Now, the positioning of said Monkey Ace is going to be quite important, because where it's going to be will depend on where it's going to be firing its darts, its missiles, its bombs, its anything really. Whatever it spawns out of, depending on the upgrades that you do, its positioning is also important. But because of the fact that we're going towards Spectra and the Flying Fortress, we want it at the edge of the track, so let's say over here on the top right, so that it's always beaming its bombs and darts all the way down this side of the track. I'm hoping this Alchemist will be able to clear all of these. That's quite a large splash radius, which is nice. Very, very helpful. Ooh, that could... Okay, that's red. I'm hoping that every other balloon will be red, so that this will then target this red one up here. Yep, there we go. So, when it comes to targeting priority, it always... If you set it on strong, obviously it goes for the strongmost balloon first. But it always has it so that it targets the first most strongest balloon that's within its targeting radius. It doesn't just target a random one. It has some sub priorities even if it's set on one thing. So if it's strong, then it targets the strongest most one. That is also the first one, or whichever one it may be. Now, since we're going to get a lot of restarts by the time we try and get to the Spectra, can be a lot of difficulties in order to maintain a consistent set of pops with both of these towers set down. Now, I do want to get the middle path. You might think that's stupid, but I assure you that in the late game, the majority of the balloons will not be within the targeting radius of the Alchemist here. And this is going to be a bit of a struggle. Let's see. Okay, it caught it. Lovely. We don't have to restart the round. Exploding Pineapple and Spy Plane. Also, if you read the description of the Exploding Pineapple, the Ace's explosives attacks are improved. So it's not just the pineapple itself, it also means the bombs, the bigger bombs, the Tsar Bomber, and any missiles that spawn out of the Operation Darkstorm and from there. So it's not just the fact that it is good with pineapple being deployed in the first place, but it also improves the explosive potential of your other explosives from your aces. We're going to be going from figure 8 to centered path, depending on what the round presents to us, really. So if there's going to be a lot of balloons down here, then I think it'll be better if we want center path. But at this point in time, I think it'll be better on figure of 8, because it's where the majority of the balloons are anyways. But this is going to be a little bit tricky, especially if there are regrowths down here. So center path, oh, that might be a bit late. Oh, no, that's good. If it's red and it's still that far away from the exit, then that's good. Okay, so back on figure 8. We're going to be switching here and there, depending on what's going to be happening. It's... What do we do next? Another... Oh, I went the wrong way with the targeting there. We might have to restart this. Let's see, that's pops. Lovely. acidic mixture dip so that the darts are able to target and pop the lead balloons whenever they come out around 28. But yeah, this is looking a little bit cheeky at this point. No, I'm going to restart the round. Or should I leave the ace without acidic mixture dip for the time being, so that the only thing that can target and pop the lead balloons would be the Alchemist instead? Okay, so 1-1, and we'll go from there. Like, we kind of actually want the Alchemist to pop the lead so that any children that spawn out of the leads will also have damage over time because of the wonderful acid, and it's strong. Oh gosh, I was not concentrating there. That blue balloon was about to leak. Right, figure 8 at the start of the round. Let's see what we can do here. Go to stronger acid so that each of these do more potentials. Oh no, I'm not making any sense here. Okay, so that's better, it seems, than it was earlier. So go back to center pathing. None of those darts are going to hit that, but the stronger acid will ensure that they pop quicker, which is nice. Yeah, in a way, we kind of want the acid, sorry, the Alchemist to pop the white balloons because of the fact then that as they degrade, the acid is still there to then pop further layers. But this is not looking too good. Is that gonna... No, I'm not going to risk that. Won't never miss targeting, and that'll be a big benefit for us. But to get to that point, it's going to be the main tricky question here. Round 23. Yeah, because of the darts popping the whites to pinks, it makes them faster and also makes it a single target. Ooh, okay. There we go. Thank you, Ace, for being clutch. Okay, so we have to solely rely on the Ace in order to pop those. We should be figure 8, not figure infinite. Thank you very... Oh, regrows. This is going to be very tricky here because we don't want them to regrow outside the range of the Alchemist. Otherwise, the Alchemist won't be able to pop them. But we are doing good so far. The splash radius and the fact we've got stronger acid will mean that they will be okay. Oh, these purple balloons might be a big problem though, actually. But I think we're not okay because of that regrow. Let's try a centered path for this particular round, because I feel like those purple balloons need to be initially popped at first. Let's see. Regrows are still being bloody annoying, actually. Not gonna lie. Like, if they escape down here, then there's very little that I can do in order to stop them. Like, okay, so it's gone down to blue, gone down to red, but then again, there's those other yellow ones. Hold on, we're going to be figure of 8 at the beginning of the round. And then we'll switch to center pathing once the purple balloons spawn out. I'm hoping that will work, but it's still a little bit hit and miss here. Perhaps we need to set the Alchemist to be on first rather than... Oh, dearie me. Yeah, that yellow one. Neither acidic mixture dip or perishing potions will help us on this particular round because we're not yet at the stage for fortified balloons, and I really don't want the Ace to pop leads in any way, given shape or form. Like, I want this to do the initial damage against leads, but I'm not too sure about that factor. Gonna go to figure center path, please. But again with that, it's probably all down to where the Ace is at the beginning of the round, because this is like, there's always at least one yellow regrow balloon at the end of a track. What about figure infinite? I'm not holding out much hopes, but I'm hoping the pineapples will land in here to just do that little bit more extra damage. But there's still the... I might need to change the Alchemist to first so that it always targets the first most regrow balloons, so that it stops them from regrowing rather than it always targeting the strongest most, then skipping to the next strongest most. That's doing a lot better, actually. That is doing a lot better. It's actually targeting the first most balloons, which means that it can actually just deal with the first most regrows, and then they just stop regrowing from there. But there's still the small problem of these... Great. We went from regrow issues to regular issues. that should finally be the one. Hopefully, if the ace keeps popping this green one. Go that way, please. Don't want this to leak at all. Ace, would you... Thank you. Okay, we cleared that round, which is good. Because that was actually quite a worrying round because of the regrow potential there. That is not cool whatsoever. Do not want those regrows. Okay, so that should be targeting the zebras, please. Because the acid will be very good with removing those layers. Like, this stronger acid is going to be very vital in the early stage of the game here. But also for continuously strengthening the ace once we get past the first 2 lead rounds. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Allow this to pop the leads. Switch to... Oh, please switch to centered. Nah, this is going to leak, isn't it? Oh, you fired the dart slightly too late there, ace. Right, centered path. Let's see how this fares on now. That we have that in a place where... Actually, I could change the center path flight so that it hopefully is on this part of the track slightly more. Let's see. Oh, gosh. That, again, it's always one yellow. Yellows, I swear, are the bane of me at times. So, aside the pineapples, it should just be the Alchemist that is targeting the leads, which is what I'm kind of hoping for. And then once we get past round 30, then we'll go to acidic mixture dip and perishing potions. It's just getting these initial groups under control. You see how quickly we're dealing with these leads because of the fact that any children that spawn after the leads will also have the acid because it was applied to the acid first. We're in a much better place now that we've got never missed targeting. And actually we're going to go to center path so that it's able to fire its darts quicker at the balloons themselves once it's up this part of the track. I know it's been quite a long video so far and we're only a third of the way through the game. Well, not even that actually, a quarter of the way because we're starting round 6. But trust me, it's going to be well worth it in the end. And I want all of you to suffer along with me as well. The fact that the darts hone into the balloons is now a godsend. We don't have to rely on RNG as much when it comes to when the darts will be fired and where the plane will be at when the darts are fired. Because they just travel in straight lines. But when it comes to, well, the Flying Fortress, we're going to need to have it on the middle path so that it can actually pop DDTs. Like, if we went top path, then there's no camo popping potential between these 2 towers, like whatsoever. Strongest stimulant for even more powerful darts and pineapples, I think. Does it just apply to the main attack or all of its attacks? I think when it's strengthened, it only applies to the main attack, which is the darts themselves. But I'm not too sure about secondary attacks like the pineapples. Maybe? It'd be cool if it's actually confirmed, yes. But I think it might be confirmed, yes. But maybe it's just my brain. Okay. The first Moab of the video. And we took that down with quite a bit of ease. So we are on 2,500 pops, which is a little bit worrying. But don't you worry. This is not going to climb as scarily as you might think. Because once we get the Spectra, then this will be barely getting any pops. So then Flying Fortress, well, you can say goodbye to any chance of any pops, Alchemist. But the Alchemist is a key player in all this. It is buffing the ace while also being able to pop leads, which is kind of what we need right now. We need a constant source of lead popping potential. But we will be able to get the Spectra before round 59 for those camo leads. Round 49 might be our next hurdle because of the number of balloons that spawns out, so that might require some position changing when it comes to this sort of stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Here's a big amount of balloons there. I'm not too sure if we have the PS to be able to deal with all this, but we will see. Pink balloons, pink balloons. With any of these 2 Megapops runs, it's either the yellow balloons or the pink balloons. Change to figure 8 and see how we get along this time around on round 49. We're only 6k away from the Spectra, then most of our problems will be dealt with. Right, this is going to be better, but there's still a pesky blue balloon up there. Okay, that's been dealt with. There's another blue balloon that's also been dealt with. Oh dear, never knew that I would be so frightened by the second weakest balloon in the game being the blue balloon. At least it's not as embarrassing as losing on, let's say, a red balloon in Chimps. Like, those are just the worst ever. Like 24. Actually, I think we're gonna leave this here from now on because we're very close to the Spectra at this point. Come on, you can do it. There we go, Spectra time, and most of our issues have been dealt with. You see how it targets balloons and it's along this huge straight line here? Well, we're using the straight line to our advantage. Mainly I use a straight line for, let's say, a Ray of Doom or a Mad to constantly fire somewheres, and you don't have to keep constantly changing it. I'm not a fan of micro-intensive towers, kind of like artilleries, but I've already done 2 Megapops with all 3 pathways of that. Thank you, Alchemist, for constantly buffing the Spectra. This is a great service that you are providing so that this will get a load of the pops from now on. We don't want the Alchemist to get above 42,000 pops, but I think it might get halfway, but I think it's not going to do much more than halfway towards 42,000. First BFB, and the Spectra has just absolutely dealt with it with flying colors. And it is literally flying. This Alchemist has 420 blazed it 10 times and just that little bit more. 81,000 pops from the ace. You may think we are only a small amount of a way to 2 million pops, but the majority of the pops within this entire mode is in the last 10 rounds of the game. Yeah, we've gone past the stressful parts of the game now. Now it's just going to be smooth sailing with probably a few points of hiccups with the Spectre when it comes to just being able to afford the Flying Fortress. Yeah, the majority of the pops now that the Alchemist would get would be defortifying ceramics. Not much to report at the moment. The Spectre is just going through these rounds with ease at the moment, with the Alchemist not getting that much at all, but the main point of the Alchemist now is to just constantly throw strongest stimulants and acidic mixture dips to the Spectra so that it empowers it. But I have to say, the mechanics of the acidic mixture dip, I know, run out almost instantaneously because it fires incredibly quickly. But the acidic mixture dip, I feel like, depending on the tower itself that is buffing, is random. Because the strongest stimulant barely lasts even with the perishing potion applied as well, because it should last longer with the perishing potion, but yet it's not really doing what it should be doing. Might be a bug, or it might be intentional scaling on the power of the tower itself that it's buffing. Round 78, all these ceramics are nothingness now, and the same will be applied to the other set of ceramics on this round, because the only difference with those ones are that they are camo ceramics. Round 79, the round before the UMG appears. But we do have some fortified BFBs to deal with on this round, which are in their own ways pretty tough. Rainbow regrows beforehand. These would be a massive nightmare, especially on the early stages of the game, but we're dealing with this. We're dealing with all of this. That's that. Also, this will be my first 2-tower chimps where I don't have a tier 5 tower on one or both of the balloons. Pretty sure there could be like a 2-tower chimps out there where both of the towers themselves are below tier 5. Or like a Dark Champion and another tower. Let's see, this is going down pretty well. Yeah, but the stronger acid and perishing potion is making itself work because it does more damage to Mo class balloons in and of themselves, making the maximum usage of the darts pierced by having the Spectra in this part of the map firing along down this straight. Does that little bit of damage to the backmost Moabs. Not a lot, but as Tesco would say, every little helps. Happy 4th of July to all of my American subscribers. Either if you live in America or you live elsewhere and you are American. Happy 4th of July to each and every single one of you. Hopefully you all have a lovely day celebrating your independence from all of those years ago. Anyways, this is not a historical or political video. We're here to pop balloons with monkeys. We're now 20k away from the Flying Fortress, and our near zero problems at the moment will become zero problems. Like, there is no room for failure once you get the Flying Fortress up. And I think it's actually impossible to lose on Chimps once you do get the Flying Fortress. But then again, it could just be the map that you're on. But then again, if getting Flying Fortress is the issue in the first place, then that would be the thing that stops you. Not the Flying Fortress, but actually getting to Flying Fortress. 10k away and 2 ZMGs are inbound. What are we going to do to them? Well, we're going to absolutely duff them up. Hopefully this doesn't do it. Okay, so it's on 14k at the moment. That's not a big worry at all. Its slow fire rate is actually beneficial for us at this point in time. The reason we had such huge struggles when we were trying to do 2 Megapops with Gwen was simply because of the factor that the heated up also applies to any towers nearby, but we needed to have the heated up for Gwen so that it powers up Gwen, but it also comes with a cost of Gwen also powering up the Alchemist. Oh, these are making quite far progress, but we have done that. Several 4 to 5 VFBs on this round. Honestly, not a worry at all. We'll deal with all of them individually. Well, we can't set it so that the ace targets the strongest most balloon or the last most balloon or the closest most balloons. It's by default always targeting the first most balloons whenever it's deployed. Like, military towers in their own right all have different means of targeting priorities depending on the tower in and of itself. This by default always targets the first most, but you can have it on figure 8 or center path if you go bottom tier. Circle, so it goes around in a circle. Figure infinite or figure 8, but by default it always goes first. Whereas like the submarine, you can have it so that it's submerged. With the heli pilot, you can have it on pursuit, or it has like a patrol point, which I've never used. What's the other one does? You can have it so stationary before you can get it as pursuit. And the Mortar Monkey, it doesn't have like a targeting priority because its targeting is always where the cursor is. And the Dartling Monkey, well, you can have it so that it either follows your mouse or it's kind of got the artillery thing going on where you set it in a specific location and it targets, well, it throws its darts whichever way the targeting is on the cursor. So let's see. Round 87 looks a bit of a struggle, not gonna lie. Maybe I should change it to center path. Yeah, I'm gonna restart the round and go on center path because I feel like we're gonna need the explosives within the center of the map going outwards. With center path, no matter where the balloon is on the track, as long as the ace is nearby, the darts and the bombs will not be too far out of reach. And it also can sometimes miss the target if the target itself is too quick, like let's say a pink balloon or a DDT. Not DDT, but we're gonna have to encounter those at some point. I mean, round 90. That's when we're gonna first encounter DDT. See, look. Because we're near here, it means that the projectiles have less travel to, well, less distance to travel, so that it's able to target those. Now that's much better because the ceramics are not up here being a bit of a pest towards us. Let's see. Yeah, the Alchemist is going after the ZOMG, which I kind of like. It's not going after the Horde, but it's going after a single balloon. There we go, round 87 is wrapped up right about now. We're 4k away from the Flying Fortress. I can't remember what kind of tower that I'm going towards, for goodness sakes. Yeah, so we either have the Perma Brew option or the Flying Fortress option, but because this is 2 Megapops with only 2 towers, we are going for the Flying Fortress, thank you very much. I want to be able to actually get to 100 and succeed. So someone actually recommended to me to try and do a perma-brew 2 million pops challenge. I'm thinking, I'm sorry, but have you ever tried doing it yourself? Like, there is no physical way in which that tower is able to get to that many pops. Like, perma-brew, you'd have to pair it with perishing potion, but as you can tell, even right here, the perma-brew does not increase in power from strongest stimulant with its base attack. So I don't know why someone would think that that would be a great idea. Like, there's no such thing as a silly question, but I would say think over the question itself. And somebody was like, well, you could do 2 Megapops, 2 Tower Chimps, but the 2 million pops are with the Energizer. And I'm thinking, what are you thinking by that? The Energizer is very bad against Merle class balloons. You'd have to buff it with a lot of towers. So I would say 2 million pops, very unlikely. I'm going to say this, very unlikely. I watched a video by ISAB trying to do a Energizer 2 million pops challenge. But I swear it requires so much micromanaging when it comes to like what time you use your abilities and all that jazz. But I don't know. Is it more difficult than, let's say, a Gwen to Megapops? But then again, I'm rambling here, so let's just continue with the challenge at hand here. But I'm just thinking of possibilities. Different possibilities and all that jazz. So, can we afford it this round or the end of next round? Okay, so it's going to be this round. We're going to afford a Flying Fortress. And come on. There we go. Put it back on figure 8 and watch as the devastation of these balloons are ensured. DDTs, no problem. You spawn out, you die. Yeah, this is complete in the bag. We've got lots of ZMGs on round 92, and they're barely making it to the first little pointer on the track before being completely annihilated. DDTs, no problem. BFBs, no problem. Fortified balloons, no problem. Soon to be fortified ZMGs will also be no problem. Just watch this. This is such a powerful tower. But it's only powerful you're able to buy it. Round 95. What's going to be happening on this round with the DDTs that spawn? Just nothing. Yeah, if you look at the strongest stimulant being applied to this, it barely stays. Yeah, it doesn't stay on it. I swear that's a bug. I swear that is a bug. That strongest stimulant should last a whole lot longer than that. Like, if this is buffing only one tower, then surely it has a near 100% uptime, doesn't it? Round 97. Fortified ZMGs, an absolute no problem scenario whatsoever. Like, that is just such a breeze. Round 98. The toughest round in Chimps because of the amount of balloons that spawn. And this is not making it halfway across the track. That's a powerful tower. Oh, but the fortified the fortified DTs are making it very far. Let's see, round 100. I'm also surprised as well that the bombs can actually kill the DTs, considering their blacklight. Anyways, maybe it just only targets the lead property. Anyways, this is going downtown. There we go. And yeah, we got this in the bag. There's no contest really. Also, very handy Insta Tower, or Insta Monkey actually, in this stage, considering that the Beast Handler's not been out for that long. Lovely. So that is 2 Tower Chimps, 2 Mega Pops. As you can see, Towers placed 2. And we got 2,020,000 pops, or near 2,021,000 pops, with the Flying Fortress. And the total damage here, we've got a few regrows, but this is definitely not as controversial as, let's say, my anti-balloon and solder attempts. Like, this is set in stone, a 2 Megapops 2 Tower Chimps challenge. So there we go. There's not really much to review aside these 2 towers. 21,000 plus. I did say it was going to be a bit more than 50% of the way towards 42,000, but this is definitely a success in my eyes. Like, it's definitely what you call something that is definitely over exceeding the amount of regrows that we had. But that is very successful. You need middle path so that the flying fortress is able to target camo balloons, but also does more damage to them anyway, so that's pretty cool. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what few combination of towers could also do a 2-tower chimps 2 Megapops scenario. What am I going to be doing here? We'll go boomerang. Let's see, 200 and 002. Ah, opposite ends of the spectrum. Lovely. Will that be beneficial towards us? Absolutely not, because I've already got multiples of them. So yeah, we need 210 in order for this to get closer to the golden border. With instas, I go for golden borders. Like, I think that's just the achievement in and of itself. And if you're going to go black border, then you're absolutely wild. So, okay, that beast handler insta is not helpful. This is what I have left, and we've got a good ways away. So maybe I should reserve my games to just beginners at the moment, until I get the beast handlers on the featured instas, rather than trying to take a chance with the crates. I've heard that there is a way in which you can play the game offline, and you can just stack all these crates so that the game doesn't force you to then open the crates. This is the game's way of giving you insta loot boxes, but it's not gambling because you can play the game and get them. But speaking of, if you want them right away, as in like the tier 4 crates, tier 3 crates, there is a creator support code in which you can use whenever you purchase anything. It's called Flare Balloons. Type it all in lowercase and then hit confirm, and you will be right as rain when you do any purchases. Not 100% sure on the total benefits that it provides, but it does a few things here and there for me, which I thoroughly appreciate. Also, I appreciate the fact that the dread balloon is just clear in the night sky with those fireworks going off. Actually, fireworks is one of the few trophy items I don't have selected, just because I prefer the magical bolts on the wizard monkeys. Also, I love this monkey. I wonder who his name is. Perhaps George Washington the Monkith. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everyone.